They stayed there 17 years. Dylan, they bought me a house. They paid off the mortgage. I took all those tax deductions. They were happy to be in that house while their kids went to all the schools, and they moved out of state. It's almost like I should give them some money when they were moving, buying this house for me.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest is a realtor and trainer based out of Chicago who leads seminars and training sessions to help real estate professionals sharpen their skills and grow their business. And also, he's an investor himself as well. Please welcome Wayne Paprocki. Wayne, welcome to the show.
Hello, Dylan.
It's great to have you. It's great to have you. And I always like to start off at the top, by asking folks how they got into the real estate space. How'd you get into real estate, Wayne?
I was doing corporate training for Fortune 500 companies, Pepsi, General Electric, Kraft, and fellow speakers suggested I take a look at doing some GRI seminars many years ago when they were 1 week long. So you travel around the country in a circuit. And I got excited about that, enjoyed training realtors. Then all of a sudden, people suggested I get a real estate license. Got the real estate license, then opportunities for training came up, and real estate investing was always a passion. And now I just tied all of them together, so I kind of lessened my corporate training, which I still have, but increased my real estate training, basically on real estate investing for agents, wealth building and negotiations, as well as luxury marketing. Those are my major focuses.
Now, I'm a real estate agent in Dallas, but I tell everybody this: I'm really more passionate about being an investor, and kind of the real estate license I felt like was just a way to kind of lend credibility to what I was doing. But I think a lot of people are maybe on the other side of the street when it comes to that. They may be a realtor and they may be thinking, well, how do I get into the investing side of things? And you probably encounter so many situations like that. Do you think that there's enough people both in real estate and then outside of real estate who are involved in real estate investing? Do you think there can be more people? Do you think real estate investing is for everybody, or is it really only for a certain kind of niche, a certain kind of mentality?
I have been passionate for my 40 years of doing this to suggest to every realtor I meet, every time I speak, that every realtor should buy at least 2 income-producing properties a year while they're a realtor as an exit strategy, as a tax benefit, and as a way to be into the marketplace. I'm passionate about agents not having enough real estate because they sell it. Why don't they buy it for themselves? And many of them have no exit strategy.
Yeah, none at all.
And I'm big on cash flow.
It's a difficult thing, right? Because I think a lot of people might say, well, how am I going to make this work? I'm in a commission-based job. What happens if the market shifts? Now I have these properties. And I'd like to tell people it's all risky. There's risk everywhere. I mean, you could be working for, a government job, and then your job gets defunded, and there's so many different things that could happen. And I think if you're involved in the real estate space, and I echo.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Your sentiment, Wayne, with the passion, because if you're involved in the real estate space and you're not taking part in the investing side, then how do you kind of get off the hamster wheel? How do you get out of the rat race? Well, you really don't. You either have to scale and grow such a large stock portfolio or something along these lines. But if you're in the real estate space, you may have an inside knowledge where the good deals are. You may have connections that other people wouldn't have. You might as well utilize those connections. And like you said, if you could get 2 deals a year, that would be tremendous for, I'd say, a lot of people.
Well, I totally agree. I mean, I was looking at the MLS just yesterday and looked at 2 houses that I'm thinking, why are those still on the market? Some agent should have bought those. I'm looking at a positive cash flow before taxes based on the price and knowing what rents I can get in that market area. I'm not interested in buying. I'm more thinking of selling now. As I said, my portfolio has drastically gone down to 22 properties. But boy, they're just sitting there waiting for somebody to pick them up as income properties. I don't understand it.
A lot of people, I think, they need to kind of see the proof in the pudding, or they need to see someone they know do it before jumping into it themselves. And this is where really the strength of networking comes into play. And you can probably attest to this, because so many people, if it's not 1 degree of separation, it can be very frightening, even as a realtor, to get involved in the investing side, because there might not be anyone at arm's length who's an investor that even as a realtor, who you can, text at any given time and say, hey, how do I do this? What do I do here? How do I do this creatively? How do I get this financed and funded? What type of partnerships do I need to make? And so I'm curious, Wayne, when you're advising maybe realtors who are starting out, or maybe at some length through their career, but might not have such a massive portfolio where they're already acquiring, lots of properties, and they're kind of expressing some of these concerns. How do I get started? Where do I make the connections? How do I get the funding for this? I don't want to have all these loans out, and so on and so forth. Would your advice generally be to them to start with looking for the deal, or would it be to start looking for kind of the connections along the way to facilitate the deal?
Well, there's no doubt connections are powerful, and relationships allow for all kinds of benefits. I mean, that's to me common sense. But more importantly, I think a lot of agents, just for whatever reason, don't have a strong guts gauge, as I call it, to get started. They throw in some fears, and they confuse accomplishment instead of goals. And obviously, to get started, I think financing is always, I don't have enough money, I can't do that. We have DSCR loans, we have this 5% down owner-occupied thing for investors, and those are just 2 that are sitting out there. Plus, as an agent looks at avoiding taxes like poison, as I feel, all the benefits of real estate don't seem to be anywhere in any other kind of investment. There are 5 major things real estate portfolios benefit from that very few, if any, other investments of any kind in this economy do. Plus, you're building cash flow. So it's just common sense to me. And I read a book many years ago as I started this journey by Carnegie. He said 90% of the self-made millionaires in this country back then made their money in real estate and owning businesses. I'm a young kid thinking, why rediscover the wheel? I got to own businesses and I got to own real estate.
That's
and
it.
So I actually was renting my own place to live in, but I was buying rental property. I owned more rental property before I bought a house because I wanted cash flow.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
So, I mean, it was just a passion, and I think it gets progressively easier after the first deal, second deal, third deal, 10th deal, 50th deal, whatever. But that first one is always the drawback, and a lot of times it's financing. So I've been giving agents some plans on how to build 8 units up in 2 years through some of these 5% down loans and DSCR loans. It's a very simple process.
I think a lot of people would be shocked to hear this. I was just talking about this on with another guest here today, actually, that oftentimes people who are looking at getting their first property, they may have an easier time getting a multi-unit, maybe an easier time getting a duplex, a triplex, a quadplex, and they may have with a single family. Have you found that to be true in a lot of cases?
Interesting you say that, Dylan. That's exactly how I started. I went into college towns and found older homes that I converted into 2 and 3 flats and bringing housing choice voucher people into them. So I had my guaranteed rents and I had a good capitalization rate. So I owned a lot of older homes I was converting. That's how I started in the process, because I could see what needs to be done. I could put home warranties on them to cover the major problems down the road, and automatically I create a portfolio. I think now, especially this loan that came out last year, 5% down, owner occupied, buy a 4 flat, rent out 3, live in 1. And you can borrow up to $1.6 million. So you can buy some very nice properties and then stay there a year, move out of that, put somebody in the 4th unit, buy another one, live in that one, do the same thing. And in 2 years, you got 8 units that are going to start to be cash flowing for you. It's just a simple process, but it's based on being a bit gutsy. And yes, you could always worry about what if I haven't have a tenant, but I do like the idea of multi-units. And I'm at the lower end of multi-units, but my fellow colleague and great friend, Grant Cardone, buys nothing under 32 units. He's big time in terms of his minimum purchase is 32 units. I'll buy a 2, a 3, or a 4, or a single family and use those for rent, or multi-units, small 6 flats, etc. And I've done no commercial. And I never knew if I should have or not should have, but I've been totally residential in my entire career.
Now, I think there's a lot of people who may look at the idea of scaling, right? And they say, well, at what point should I scale? And then you mentioned, you have been in residential and you've stayed in the residential area and you have great success there. Do you think there's anything to be said for staying in one vertical for a long sustained period of time, as opposed to what I think is kind of I don't want to say a tendency because it's not a negative thing, but this kind of shiny object syndrome where people feel like they've gotten all that they can get out of the squeeze in whatever vertical that they're in, and they go on to what they think is the next big thing. But there's also a lot of leverage there that they expose themselves to and a potential liability.
I can look at that several ways, but my main focus was, as I was starting to sell real estate, I had a captive audience because I had tenants in every single one of my properties, other than multi-units, but a single house. Every tenant always got a rent with option to buy, because I'd like them to buy a house from me eventually, if this one or some other one. But that was the best way to keep my rents high, have tenants take better care of their properties, and many of them buy it and or move out to someplace else with me as their agent. So that's why I concentrated on residential, because I wanted a base of people that would be buying houses from me, either my properties with the rent to option, or they go out and look for some other property. I'm dealing with a couple right now, been in one of my rentals for 13 years. It's a beautiful 5-bedroom house. Their kids are graduating from school. They're going to downsize. We're going to look at houses.
That's an amazing strategy. I have not heard this one before. You would think that I would have heard this one quite a few times, but to be able to have the properties, tenants want to become homeowners. They're saving the nest egg down payment while they're the tenants. They know that, the landlord is a real estate agent when they.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Have saved up enough, hey, let me go buy a house, and then you find the next person, and it's a win-win because they know that if they get evicted, it's not going to bode well for them on their process of buying a house. And then also they know, hey, look, there's kind of like a relationship that I'm cultivating here. I got this rental that I'm staying in, but then also I know that at the end game here, I have a realtor that I can go to help me find a house and help me through that process.
Can I share another strategy you may not have heard?
Go ahead.
In my office, when a person came in to look for a rental, nobody wanted to deal with them. Oh my God, no money in that, blah, blah, blah. So they'd say, Wayne, you got anything available? And I'd take these people on, start talking to them, found out what they want. School districts are a big thing for a lot of people. And so I'd say, okay, I'm going to give you some houses to look at this Sunday. And I'd pull up 3 open houses in a price range I thought might work for me buying it. And they would say to me, no, we don't want to buy. We just want to rent. I said, no, I want you to go look at those houses. Tell me which one you like, school district, layout. And if you like it, I will see if I can buy it and I'll rent it to you with an option to buy it. So I've had people, I actually have a house right now. It's now on a tear down street, which is amazing, that a person bought. I told them I got good news and bad news. I can buy the house. We agreed on a price, but I will have to raise your rent 50%. And I said, the reason I'm saying that is you've been renting at a very, very low rent because your landlord never raised rents. But in looking around, this is the market rent in this area. But don't do it if you can't. So they said we would. I gave them an 8-year lease with an option for another 7. And if you had 8 and 7, that's 15. Took out a 15-year loan. And they stayed there 17 years. Dylan, they bought me a house. They paid off the mortgage. I took all those tax deductions. They were happy to be in that house while their kids went to all the schools. And they moved out of state. It's almost like I should give them some money when they were moving, buying this house for me.
Thank you for the house, right? And they were probably happy too because
It was a win-win.
they didn't have to leave.
Exactly. So,
Now,
those 2 strategies have got me into a lot of single-family houses that I would turn into a multi-unit or do that way, among other different.
I think there's a lot of realtors who are probably listening to this and their ears are perking up because they're thinking, well, yeah, I'm always involved working with potential tenants or potential buyers and I work with sellers, but how about I become the landlord? How about I use that to help me find other properties? And also now my tenants can potentially buy the place. You talk about lease option, buy the place that they're in once it's already paid off, right? You talk about these long leases. So there's so many different strategies and you can sort of kind of pick and choose because you hold in a lot of ways, you hold all the cards. You're the realtor, you have the property, and then you have the tenants. You've got all 3 pieces of the deal. The only thing we haven't talked about is like being the hard money lender, which that may be a business you're not involved in, but I could see a lot of investors thinking, well, now I'm just going to start loaning money. But we are coming up on time here, Wayne. Where can folks go if they'd maybe like to learn a little bit more about your business? Or I know you're in the Chicago area if they want to reach out to you or get in contact with you.
Yeah, my email is wayne@waynepaprocki.com. Be glad to respond to all that. Bottom line is that's the best way, easiest way, and surest way to make sure we respond, rather than a phone call or going on a website or something. I like the email process to start and go from there.
Wayne, thank you so much for coming on the show here today.
My pleasure, Dylan.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.